move on now. We've got another credible company, LogMeIn, with Mark coming up next. Drew, I'm going to hand it over to you, buddy. Take it from here.
So Mark, thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a few minutes for you one-on-one. I look forward to you in the panel as well. It was funny, you had your team into our office not that long ago to show the incredible arsenal of companies you've put together. I was actually taken back with the amount of productivity, the amount of tools, the amount of innovation that you are bringing to the table. And this was, again, Corona. Talk about today. What's happening right now at LogMeIn GoTo? So,
yeah, thanks, Drew. It's great to be here. I appreciate your having me, and it's great to talk to everyone in the audience and your trusted advisors as well. And appreciate your comments on LogMeIn. I've been in LogMeIn about 1.5 years. Before that, I was at Blue Jeans and some other collaboration companies, and I really came to LogMeIn because of all these different pieces of the puzzle. You know, a lot of people know us for GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar and Jive hosted PBX and GoToMyPC and the like. We're a top meetings player, and with Zoom, Microsoft, Cisco for meetings in the meetings Magic Quadrant with Google. With Gartner, the Magic Quadrant. But we are also in the UCC, the hosted PBX Magic Quadrant. And there's actually only 4 players in both the meetings and the UCC Magic Quadrant. It's us, Microsoft, Google, and Cisco. And UCC, especially as we go into this world now, isn't just about meetings, which we're having now, or telephony. It's bringing it all together. It's telephony, video, messaging, even fax. It's to bring it all together for a simple experience for IT, so you can manage it and deploy it in one place, and simple for end users, so they don't have to hop between all these different applications to get their jobs done. At LogMeIn, in addition to our UCC, we also have these other businesses focusing on remote desktop and remote support. And kind of overnight, all of these different pieces of our puzzle came together to support remote work. Our contact center for supporting customers from anywhere, our remote desktop for supporting customers and employees from anywhere. So all of a sudden, all these different pieces came together, and about being less about just the communications, but about supporting remote work. So it is a fascinating time.
I'm going to hit on something real quick, because I don't think everybody can truly understand, the full arsenal that you have. But you're in a very unique position as a company right now, specifically in relation to this crisis. Can you kind of summarize everybody that portfolio that you now have that you're able to? Because I mean, when I think of working from home, quite frankly, I can think of that presentation I just saw 3 months ago.
Right. I appreciate that. So we have our UCC group, and that's what I'm in charge of. And it's really bringing together the video and the meeting components of GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar, Join Me, Jive, which is a hosted PBX, kind of bringing those together. We also just launched a room solution last year. We just launched a contact center solution, so we have all those pieces. We have identity and access management. So a lot of people don't know that LastPass is part of our portfolio. So, and that has not only password management, but a full identity solution. So we can figure out and help companies manage identity, which is especially important with remote work and people outside of the office. And then we have a customer experience and customer support tools, Access, GoToMyPC, etc. In addition to a bot component, AI called Bold. So we found users who are now, all their employees are working from home. Certainly they're using GoToMeeting, they're using GoToWebinar for remote. All of, heard before from Vic that, UCC deployments are going through the roof, and they are. And we're finding, instead of people buying phones from, Polycom and the like, the use of the soft phones on the desktop is going through the roof. Contact center going through the roof. Everyone wants to support their customers, but they're not in a center. It's kind of contact no center. So between supporting employees, supporting customers, communicating from anywhere, we've put together this emergency remote work kit with basically products from across our portfolio, so that whenever you're talking to customers, whenever you're talking to anyone inside or outside your organization, we have the tools to support that. It is a great portfolio.
Mark, one of the things that when I was listening to the presentation, when I think about your firm, when I think about your, your entire team and all of your products too, what are the technology needs, changes, and concerns with, remote work being the new norm, right?
Yeah,
What are some of the things,
yeah.
because I feel like you guys kind of knew that prior, and that was your whole MO in the beginning, right?
Sure.
Let everybody go, disperse workforce. But what, if you could kind of point out as an expert, like what are some of those, needs, changes, and concerns?
Yeah, it's a bunch. One is I think the definition of work is just up for grabs. Work or work from home. How do you measure productivity if it's not people in the office? You have to focus more on sort of goals and norms. I think how you think about meetings. I think we talk a lot about meetings and video meeting tools. That actually, a lot of the interactions you have with coworkers, with customers when they visit the office is different than a meeting. There's water cooler conversations. There's informal conversations. A meeting, the definition of a meeting is different. Personal and professional boundaries, right? That's more clear when you're going into the office. How you define that's important. A lot of what Vic was talking about. How do you focus on people, not the places, on their connectivity, on their training, on hiring from anywhere? I think you're going to see the rise of the personal enterprise, workspaces in the home, IT support of home workers, not just bring your own devices, but bring your own everything, which makes you think about security, corporate versus personal data, working with companies you trust with your data, knowing where the data goes, knowing how they handle the data, knowing the transparency of the data is important. I think there's going to be a whole new ecosystem of partnerships. Offices and headquarters are going to be replaced by home offices, and maybe even people will be supplying RVs that you can put in your driveway. Who knows? Collaboration tools, food delivery, free lunches in some places. Will that change? Will they be delivered? Virtual events like this. People are finding they're actually potentially more effective than going to a trade show. And for years, I think people have been talking about trade shows are going to start to go away and work travel is going to start to go away. This is the great experiment. The great experiment has converted the work from home and the virtual event skeptical. Lastly, I think that's going to be the kind of technification of everything. As we think about hardware in the home, as we're getting ready for this meeting, people are adjusting their lights. I think the line between consumer electronics and personal electronics are going to start to blend. AR and VR, we've been talking about forever. They're now relevant, right? People have backgrounds on their screens and you're are hiding your home. Telemedicine, video, everything. So all these things that were kind of trends are now overnight real.
So I know, and just wrapping real quick,
Yeah.
maybe 30 to 40 seconds. I know that obviously you're part of the executive team. My executive team meets constantly. All of these executive teams meet. As a matter of fact, all of this panel is, hundreds of millions from work from home users are utilizing this group that we're all talking to today. But I would love to get your perspective from an executive perspective at your great company. What do you think the world will look like in 12 months from now?
Oh, it is, again, I think in terms of work from home, obviously, 12 months from now, we're still going to be in the midst of this until the vaccine is out and people are more comfortable. But I think that this great experiment of working from home, I think people, even inside LogMeIn, who had been skeptical of you don't need to come to the office, now are recognized you can get a lot of work done. So I think culturally has been the biggest barrier. So work from home, virtual events are the new norm. And the way work gets done will be different. Again, the definition of meetings is different. You're going to set up interactions where you can have water cooler moments. Instant messaging is going to be more important. I set up meetings with my team where I just have office hours. There is no agenda, right? It used to be a good meeting has a good agenda and decisions. You want to have meetings that have agenda and have decisions, and you want to have meetings that just allow for people interacting. I have people on my team who just get together in a virtual room and go to meeting for an hour with no agenda. They just sit and get work done and talk back and forth. These sort of wormholes and hot walls into each other. How do you think about design thinking and whiteboarding? All sorts of opportunities when people aren't in the same room. The floodgates are open to a new way of working together.